What's kind of your normal viewership?
My normal viewership is a little bit low. It's around 20 to 500. So yeah, very very low.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I got.
so good day and welcome to Elementary 72 Gaming. Today I am actually doing time for Tim's account. We're actually going to be viewing his Prime account, his main account, and we're going to be looking at the champions that he keeps for himself. So here we go. Hi there, Tim.
Hey, how's it going?
Things are going great. And yeah, so you'll just see that this video will be a little bit funny in the start because it had our chat about my viewership. So let's hit it off with your champions. Okay, so
Sure.
which is your main team? You know, everybody has their main team. The one that goes through classic arena is generally considered main. So which is yours?
Yeah, sure. So we can look at kind of my normal arena setup, classic arena. I'll just go into a battle. You can see I start with my Arbiter lead, go into Madame buff strip, then I have a little control with Mashald, and then a big nuke from Heferak here. That's typically what I run. I kind of also run this team, which goes Arbiter speed into Deacon, further boosting the speed and dropping enemy turn meter, Madame strip, and then Heferak nuke. Those are kind of the two main ones I run.
Yeah, I can see that's an awesome setup over there. The turn down on the turn meter and the turn up for your own turn, making it heavy
Yeah,
hit.
I don't quite have Heferak fast enough is the only reason I kind of fail sometimes. He's in a big damage build, but his speed's just a little too low. I can show you that.
Okay.
And I also don't have him 60 yet. But yeah, I think I need that around like 212 to have him not get cut. So sometimes right now he just gets his turn meter cut. But you can see he only needs 70 crit rate because he self boosts, and then a big 250 and close to 5k attack.
That is really awesome.
Thanks.
I remember when I played just for a year or so, getting to those figures is like super tough. Once you try breaking that 180 mark, it's just like such a rare find on the gear. To be able to have that full set means that you've been grinding for quite some time.
Yeah, that's why speed's so important in the game. You really want to prioritize stuff with speed subsets and get those rolls into speed. But you can kind of see here my tag team setups. They're all kind of similar there, just as my offense. They go speed lead into some kind of drop defense with Madame, Venus. Don't really have it in this one. This one's a little bit more defensive based and control based. And then a nuker generally. And then with some control there and Syl and revives. You can kind of see what I'm going for. And then defense, I went more just heavy defensive based champions. So I've got this is a straight defensive team just meant to survive. And then that's my kind of more offensive team. And then another kind of defense control team with a little bit of damage from Herndig.
That is really controlling.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
And looking at some of my dungeon teams, we can see kind of who I'm using there. So like Spider, I usually farm 24, 25. Got kind of a typical Spider setup here, just a tank, and then HP burns, control, turn meter, drop of the boss, and then Tio's in there just to explode those burns, and it really drops my time down. You can see it's around like a minute run. So it's not super fast, but it's definitely reasonable for running a 25 dungeon for where I'm at.
Yeah,
Ice Skull. Go ahead.
I was about to say that's really awesome in comparison, because I've just entered into the stage where I'm entering mid to high. So my basic dungeons are all maxed out, so I can do the potions at max. And now I'm starting to climb up to the 20s for the Ice Golem, the Dragon, and just from your times I can see the difference in our sheer level, because for me it's like 8 minutes is a fast time, and for you 1 minute is a fast time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, and just for context, so I've probably been playing 3.5 years on this account. Took some time off here and there, but cumulative is probably a little over 3 years of how much time's into this account. And I've been totally free to play, so definitely if I'd spent money, I could have got there faster. But just the grind doesn't stop, you know.
It never stops. That's the catch with free to
So
play
you see
games.
Yeah, yeah. So Ice Golem, I don't really run a full team. I have just Tio, Dora the Savant here. He solos it. So these other champions are just food champions.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just grinding levels on them, and they die immediately, and he runs all the way through himself. I can show you his build in a second, but kind of the same thing in Dragon 2. You can see I usually farm 25 or 23 with Tio and some food champions, same ones there. And then Fire Knight.
That is a juicy one. A lot of people struggle with Fire Knight.
Yeah, so I can farm 25. I usually stick on 23 just for the Void Affinity. It kind of depends on what's running. It's a little cheap on energy, but during like CVCs, I'll run 25 just for the more points. But you can see it's got a lot of multi-hitters, so Cold Heart is a classic Fire Knight champion with the 4-hit A1 and the turn meter drop. Apoth for the speed boost and the triple hit A1. Martyr gives the counter attack for everyone, so when he does get a turn, that really takes the shield down a lot faster. And then Syl's in there for support with her heals and the decreased speed and turn meter drop. And the Stag Knight's a great champion for the decreased defense attack and the decreased speed, and he's got a double hit. So that team works pretty well. I definitely could improve my Fire Knight, but it's been working decently for me, so I haven't done too much with it. It's really the waves that are slower.
I've just started getting into using a Cold Heart because I know that using Cold Heart in the early game is very difficult, but in the later part of the game when you have gear, she's just a beast. She can even outstrip some of the legendaries with how good she goes.
Yeah, a phenomenal rare, but yeah, she's not one you want to invest in super early. She definitely gets like mid game to late game a lot better.
Yeah.
And so you can see this is my like a pretty standard Doom Tower team for me. I focus a lot on defensive champions, so Martyr, Helicath, Syl, just they survive. And then Venus brings HP burn, which helps with those high HP enemies and is a Doom Tower hard. And then Michelle brings a lot of control to keep enemies from taking turns, and he's just built pretty fast for me. He's a little squishier than probably what I'd need to keep pushing up a lot higher in hard Doom Tower, but I feel comfortable with where I'm at. I've gotten up to that second stage of bosses in 50 right now, and then I switched over to focus on normal Doom Tower, so I'm working my way up. I can clear pretty much every normal Doom Tower rotation.
That is awesome to see.
So those are thanks.
Yeah.
You can see some of the champions I've got.
Yeah, I really like that first line basically. From there, I've had one or two of those champions total in all the time that I've played. I had Ninja. I believe I had Dexter, and I was about to get a second of him because I was gonna go double Dexter for my defense. And I had one other female legendary. She's from the Bannerlords, if I'm correct. She had this crazy revive and a heavy hit that she used to do. I'm not sure who I'm talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, that was like my beast team. I never got any of the bosses, but all the other legendaries I had were just trash.
Yeah, maybe Raglan. She's got a great revive. I'm not sure if there's another reviver there.
First line, right at the corner.
Manaya?
Yeah, if I'm right, doesn't she have a revive? Or is it a heal?
She definitely has a heal.
Okay,
I think it's a revive.
Then I made the mistake.
I
thought it was revive, but yeah.
Yeah, she's great with the speed boost and heals and a lot of good buffs for your team. Yeah, I don't have a ton of Banner Lords. It's definitely a faction I struggle with.
At least you can see the difference between a starter in the game and a veteran. It's just that heavy load of epics and legendaries that you have to carry you through. It just
Yeah.
goes to show. Like even if you had to get rid of all of your legendaries, your epics could carry you through most of your activities because they have similar powers. They may be slightly slower, but you're still gonna get through.
Right, yeah, and you can see I've kind of got a good blend of legendaries and epics built and a few rares. Especially being free to play, like I have to kind of split that up just because like I'm mostly limited by the books that I'm able to do, so I can't fully book out a lot of my legendary champions. So I kind of prioritize a good blend of champions, legendaries and epics. Kind of rares, not so much anymore. But early game, I built a fair amount of rares. I used War Maiden for a long time. Bellower, my campaign farmer.
Yeah, I know War Maiden was one of the best champions when I first started playing, but I haven't even thought of using her in this round when I started playing because I had Ultimate Death Knight on my front, so I was like, I've got a strong defense and hardly anybody beats me, so forget about the heavy debuff. I'll just go nuke her.
Yeah, she's definitely kind of fallen off of where she used to be. Just power creeped.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing which shows for experienced players is their Great Wall. Obviously, your Great Wall is going to be maxed out.
No. Definitely have some. I'm working towards it, but...
Okay, wow, I'm actually shocked at that one.
Yeah, for a long time I struggled in Arena.
Oh, okay.
Lately I've done pretty decently, but for a while I was just kind of piddling down in Bronze and Silver. Finally was able to get together a decent team and start pushing up higher, and it's really kind of taken off from there. But
we're in the same area in Arena, shockingly enough.
Yeah, I probably could push up higher in Plat, but I generally keep a one-man defense to kind of stay down.
I don't like Platinum. Platinum is just too competitive.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a Plat account, so
yeah,
there's no reason for me to get into Plat.
You're 56 levels higher than me in Great War, and I only have 1 gold. So it's just showing that level really matters. I was actually just talking about this in a video that I made earlier, and I was talking about how these simple skills and abilities, depending on how you're playing, can make a massive difference for you. Like taking accuracy, if you're gonna count on Ronda right now, might not be the best one for you to go for on your magic affinity. If you have heavy resistance required, you might want to max out your resistance or max out your health just to get that survivability up a little bit for your farming. And then obviously when you're in late game, most people don't even worry about the Great Wall because it's maxed and it doesn't make a difference to anything that you do.
Yeah. But you can see I've kind of prioritized magic is definitely my strongest affinity, so that's why I've focused most of my development. Yeah, and then you can see I kind of prioritized accuracy, some resistance, and just for those survivability numbers. And when you can kind of get that good base level of accuracy, like if I'm starting with 80, that just helps all my builds. I don't have to put as many of my stats into accuracy. I can focus those into maybe more damage or more survivability.
Yeah, that's
why I resistance.
Yeah, so that's incredible. Let's see, what else is there to look at when it comes to the difference between mid-level and high-level? Your quest page, because you have less quests than me because of the fact that you've completed most of it. So you have some quests, and it looks like you still have some missions.
Yeah, so the challenges tab you can see is gone because I've finished all the challenges, so it just doesn't even show up anymore. And then quests obviously has your daily stuff, but missions, I have finished the Arbiter mission line. I'm working towards the Romantu. So I'm almost done with this first stage of the Romantu quests. You can see this just didn't time out well that I've got to beat the Doom Tower 80th floor right now on normal, which is definitely easy for me. I just have to get there.
I'm actually shocked at this one because I actually completed the missions before Doom Tower came out. And
yeah, it's
that one is crazy to see it in. Yeah, I never thought they'd put it in.
in the second line of it, where they added this Romantu missions.
Yeah. They launched him with shards before they launched him. Yeah, am I right? Or am I wrong about that one?
Well, remember, you might be right, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I believe he was launched with shards like our recent shard launches, and I was about to get him when my original account got reset, and it's just like all my progress just disappeared overnight. I have no idea how sad that was to watch.
Yeah. Can't remember if he can't be from shards now or not.
He can't be.
Yeah, you're right there. Yeah. So only the missions.
So what's the story with your saving of your ancient shards? Looks like you're after something.
Yeah, I mean, I try and keep a good supply of shards now. I try and keep over 20 sacreds just because that's kind of seems what their benchmark is now for the guaranteed events. So I'm kind of waiting until there's a really good guaranteed event that I want on those. I also kind of use them for fusions or for CBCs when I need to. Ancients, I have plenty of champions right now that I'm needing to build anyways, so I don't really feel a need to pull them during every 2x event, or so they just kind of pile up.
Okay, yes. So here's something else. It's something I used to do when I had the bigger account. But how many champions do you leave in reserve at 5-star, just ready for you to use for food to boost up a new champion if you get a new champion who you want?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of food built right now. You can see I've got 6 5-star chickens ready to go. And just 1 4-star, so that's kind of where I need to start rebuilding my supply. I used a bunch of it in that last fusion event, but I've got 16 5-star chickens, 32 4-star.
Oh, okay, that is impressive.
I just never really use them.
I use them to burn points on the CVC because I'm still low game, so I can't really keep up that 100,000 without doing something crazy.
I just like doubling up my events. So like if I'm doing it for CVC, I want a champion training to be running at the same time. That kind of thing.
All right, and then another thing, the sparring pit, which turned into the guardian ring, it also has a secondary set where you can actually do the guardians for the factions. I only figured that out yesterday, to be honest. So let's see how's your mastery in here.
So you can see I don't have many duplicate Legos. I've got I think just one.
That's very difficult. Oh, and you got a good duplicate Lego.
Yeah, that's one that most people would want just one of, and I've got 2 of her. Yeah.
You could double her up and throw her in one of your teams. That would be a little bit faster, if I'm right on the farming. Some of the Legos add more speed to your farming.
Yeah, I don't know if it would speed up her farming, but it definitely would kind of help with the survivability on some of them.
Yeah.
But you can see, I'm
actually thinking of somebody, but I can't remember the name.
Yeah. I don't really rare guardians anymore. I don't use enough rares to bother keeping them. I kind of have the Dark Elves just because I use Cold Heart and Kale, and then Ogre and Tribes I have some just because I use Bellower as my campaign farmer. But I don't really need them. I mean, I just wanted that +10 attack. I don't really need the defense or the speed or the accuracy.
Actually, it might make a big difference, especially since Rhonda is now in the play. You might need that 10% extra defense just to survive her cut into your champions, because a lot of people are now starting to run Rhonda in the the arena. It's just like what happened when Ninja first launched. He wasn't that heavy in the arena, and then all of a sudden he was all over arena. And I think same thing happened with Death Knight. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, Death Knight was heavy arena, especially for early game accounts. You couldn't fight a team that didn't have Death Knight in it. I don't see
annoying.
Ronda as much in arena.
But it's still just the start, because nobody has yet to master her properly. Because you'll get that one guy who'll figure out that there's a strategy for her to basically nuke out something or take out somebody on your top line or lock out their powers which come on the second assault, and that will just be the end of it for people, because you're always stuck with just that first attack instead of your turn down with Cold Heart or one of the other champions like Arbiter's Tornado. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly see Arbiter lead teams in arena. You see, I was just looking at that page, and there was no Ronda to be found there, but you can kind of see how the team works here. And then Hippowrack's going to do a big slam.
And that's the end of it.
Yeah, he's a beast. He hits those 200k hits. Not many people survive that. You kind of need that stone skin gear or deflection gear, maybe. So, we'll see how it happens with the stone skin. So, got lucky and Madame buff there.
I didn't know that stone skin could be removed. I thought it was unmovable. Oh, and there's a revive coming.
That's a 50% chance. So we'll see.
Okay, this is fun to watch.
And we'll go there, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's been a nice show of power and skill. Yeah, so thanks for thanks for showing off your account. Honestly, I really enjoy watching somebody who's a little bit further ahead, and somebody who's so much further ahead is just like a real nice thing to watch, basically, because you get all of this insight into where players are. Obviously, you may not be on the edge of meta because you're free to play, but you do show what it takes to be a top class player in Raid. And thanks for sparing some of your time to show it. And this isn't your only account, just in case anybody is thinking for 3.5 years he's really not pushing very hard. He has more than one account, so just being here is super rare. And going beyond this is going to be even more difficult to achieve for most people, so you should understand that his account is really impressive.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can see that I'm hardly even at the far end of endgame. You can see kind of these power numbers from a lot of the other people in our clan.
Yeah. You have what, 6 accounts, or am I wrong on the number?
I have too many accounts. Okay. I actively probably play 6. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So with six active accounts, nobody can blame you for not having platinum and sitting in the top 200 players. You definitely have the potential to be top 100 players, but nobody can blame you against that, because obviously you're prioritizing helping your entire alliance. And just for, by the way, Tim leads 5 full what do they call it, clans in Raid, and that is not a small task. Holding on to one alliance takes a lot of communication, and the fact that he can hold on to 5, it may be him with a group of very close friends who are holding it together, but being able to hold on to that many is really a feat. And you may just see just from this account that he has quite a good grip on all of the aspects of the game, and there's always aspects which a person wouldn't have, and it's just something that I have to say. And in that sense, he is always testing it out with other free-to-play accounts. He may come up with another strategy which doesn't lead on the speed, so he might go for a nuke defense or a nuke revive, and that is just another type of strategy which may help with some battles and not all battles. And these are the types of people who you want to always be around, because they can always craft up new opportunities for you to play in the game. Like, he's helping me with my spider team because I couldn't get what I needed. I was hoping to get a deacon, and instead he told me I could use Cold Heart, and I never knew that you could do that for spider. So Tim,
Very
thank you
well
for
said.
everything.
Yeah, thank you. That's one thing I love about Raid is I'm constantly learning from other people, and I love passing that on to other people too. So it's a great community to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely, and the content creators are amazing for this game. To be honest, I didn't think I'd find myself viewing a lot of their videos. Hal Hades is one of the most community intensive content creators I've ever seen. The way he's building it, it's mainly the community who's with him. It's not so much the content. I know that sounds a bit weird, but the community gets to do a lot with him. Then you get Ash, who is just all about the content, helping you with every little aspect of the game. He's talking you through what's coming out. He's helping you out with tips for the future. Chosen Plays, I haven't watched a lot of his videos because I've been watching a lot of Hal Hades, and I don't have enough to say about him. But just judging on that, there's so many awesome players. And if you were a content creator, I can only imagine how much of good tips you'd be giving people.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Okay, so thanks for that there. I hope you all have a good day and catch you all on the next one.